So I am Michael Frady, and I serve on the Nominating Committee along with Doug Anderson. So I want to thank Doug so much for all the work that he's done. We, over the pandemic period, some of our organization fell apart a bit, so Doug and I have been working hard to kind of pull it all together. So thank you, Doug. What you're receiving now is a list of the staffing for the Board of Directors, for the Committee on Ministry, and for the Mission and Justice Committee. There are no additions to the Mission and Justice Committee. That's led by Steve Osella. And thank you to all those members for agreeing to extended terms, so that the back part of the page will remain as is. We won't vote on anyone from that group. We have moved the Nominating Committee onto the Committee of Ministry. And this is to aid in recruiting. So the benefit to doing this is allowing the nominations team, currently Doug and I, to have greater exposure to more potential candidates, both clergy and laity, as well as providing, allowing us to receive input from the members on the Committee on Ministry. And this is a organizational change that I think we may want to call a vote on instead of just doing it.
Yes. So,
Mary Lou, can you stand up at one of the mics because we're not picking up for those people who are at home?
could we have a motion, please? The
To
motion.
join the Nominating Committee with the Committee on Ministry.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Could you explain how that process will work?
Well, just instead of the two of us, there are 3 slots, but 2 of us active right now. Instead of us working in isolation, we're also serving now on the Committee on Ministry. And that's allowing us to, whenever we meet with candidates or meet with churches, it allows us to have exposure to who potential candidates may be. And it was a way that we got pulled on to Committee on Ministry, too.
Which we all really appreciate. Are there any other questions? Yes, Anne?
Question about how that will work in the future. So you get nominated to the nominating committee and then you automatically serve on Committee on Ministry, or do we have Committee on Ministry and a couple of folks on Committee on Ministry serve as nominating people? Like, how will that go?
It's a good question, and I can only share what I imagine, which is within the Committee on Ministry, we call for someone to step up and serve as the next scribe, or we call for someone to lead the justice and missions team. So I would imagine from within, we'd recruit the next leaders of the nominating team. But your suggestions are welcome.
Is the question that whoever serves on nominating is on both Committee on Ministry and the Board of Directors, as it would be right now? Because the 2 that are serving for nominating right now are on both Committee on Ministry and the Board of Directors. Chapeau?
So I have a simple question. It's just about going forward. So if the 2 committees are combined to one, you have it listed as a subcommittee. Would it be people designated at a subcommittee level, or the whole ministry group could do nominations as well?
However you guys want to do it.
That's a good
No, really, we're trying to fill gaps. There are vacancies everywhere, and people are not stepping up, so a lot of us are filling multiple roles. but I'll be happy to do whatever you propose.
It seems to me, and I haven't thought about this before this very moment, but it would seem to me that the Committee on Ministry stays as it is, and it be given a nominating function, I think.
Okay?
Rather than, and it accomplishes the same thing. So in other words, nominating is now on the Committee on Ministry. Well, it's more the Committee on Ministry now included in their bailiwick is nominating folks for positions where.
Right, so a couple of people, including myself, were identified as that subcommittee because it's not practical for us to take up Committee on Ministry meeting time to, like, Doug and I need to go work the phones and recruit people and meet with people. So I think it's helpful to have a couple people designated as, you know, carrying out the duties.
Yeah. So maybe it is a subcommittee as suggested.
Yeah, I don't think it's ideal for those folks, Doug and I, to also serve on the board of directors, you know, in the future.
Well, it's a lot to think about. So are we ready to take a vote on this, or do we need to do some more discernment about this?
Well, you've got a motion on the floor that's been seconded,
Okay.
so you've got to be careful. The motion is to join the nominating committee to the Committee on Ministry.
The motion on the floor is to join the nominating committee with the Committee on Ministry.
And if you think they need to have more discussion, that can be withdrawn.
Chapeau?
Or it can be, they can work out the details in that future. Because I do understand it makes sense, but it was a great question to say what happens going forward.
Right. So details to be worked out later on the Committee on Ministry, but I guess my question then becomes, do we still have a leadership team as part of the Board of Directors? A nominating, will there still be a nominating function on the Board of Directors? Will we still have those two slots? I guess those are more details to be worked out.
I think it's very helpful to have one representative who also serves because you're relaying information.
Right. That's clear, yeah.
One
Go ahead.
One more comment, and that is that the motion on the floor, I think, is pretty clear. And I think we're probably all in agreement that, yeah, let's do that. It's more like, you know, you pass a law and then you gotta work on the regulations. So,
Yep.
it sounds like we could take a vote to do it, and then later, you know, that we've got work to do.
We've got work to do to complete it.
Sure.
Well, I guess I will call for the vote then. Is that right? All right, we'll, do I need to repeat the motion or just go for the vote? Go for the vote. Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Are there any opposed?
I need to give you the votes from the online participants.
Okay.
3 of our online participants have voted yes.
Okay. So at this point, with 17 votes coming in, we have,
4.
okay, we have 16 for, and was that an abstention or an objection in the back?
It's an extension.
One abstention.
Okay.
So
2 more?
2 more yeses?
Yes.
2 more yeses? Okay, so I think I was just going by the quorum of churches, but we have more than one person
That's right.
representing,
One delegate.
more than one delegate, right. So, so the yeses take it.
Yep.
Motion is approved.
All right, I'll press on.
Okay.
So next I want to thank you, Mary Lou, for stepping into the moderator role initially as interim, and then we voted at our last association meeting for Mary Lou to continue as moderator. So thank you so much for filling that important role that was vacant. And I will now draw your attention to the Board of Directors. So we do have an opening right now for a vice moderator. I think, as you know, we have a practice of alternating clergy and laity in the moderator position. So ideally, we're looking for a layperson who Mary Lou would train in the role, and when Mary Lou, her term is over, that person would step into moderator. If you would like to have some time to prayerfully consider it, also clergy and lay leaders here, if you can go back to your church and really think about if there's someone available that might be able to serve in this capacity, would like to fill this position with a lay person, and if that doesn't work, clergy will step in. Probably in the fall meeting, we'll have to take this up again. There is also a lay position available for one of the director at large slots. Okay, scribe, thank you, Tony, for serving so well and willing to continue on. And then next, and next, our co-treasurers, Karen Bailey-Francoise and Chapeau Fisher. They have been working hard on picking up the loose ends, tying up the loose ends, and putting together some proper procedures moving forward. So thank you both for all that work you've been doing. I know you've had a lot of investigative work to do too. So thank you for serving as such an excellent team. And also Bill Frank continuing to serve, so thank you for staying on and holding a steady course for us. And Jeff Cardisco has just joined us recently. So I don't think we have to vote this because we haven't added anyone.
No, we have not. Do we have openings though for?
We have an opening for a vice moderator, at this point lay or clergy. And we also have a lay position available for director at large. Just so you know, for the board of directors and the committee on ministry, we do have 4 clergy on deck, those who are ready to step up when positions open. So we could call upon them to fill one of the lay positions, but I'd like us to all be a little more assertive in trying to fill that position with the lay leader. So moving on to committee on ministry, thank you, Kim Murphy, so much for your fine service, and thank you to Carol Steinbrecher, who is rolling off, but has done a fine job. So Liz Williams has stepped into the position of corresponding scribe. We have 6 people remaining, and then we've had Bill Ferguson join us already, but we need to officially vote him in. Margie DeSalvo, Derek White, Gordon Crouch, and Bruce Hughes will all be joining, so I am nominating them now for your approval.
Okay. You have heard the names of those who are nominated, so as a slate, we'd like to just call for one vote of election. So we would like to say now, would all in favor please raise your hand? Okay. Is anyone abstaining or objecting? Okay, and we'll just wait for the online votes.
4 so far online. Votes yes for the committee on ministry slate.
Okay, all right, it's a yes.
Oh, 5.
5. Tony, you got those numbers there, sir? All right, thank you very much, and thank you, Michael.
Well, thank you, Mary Lou. Before I step down, any questions for me regarding any of these slots, openings, availability? Will you please check with your churches and find if there is someone who's willing to step into any of these lay positions? All right, thank you all.
Thank you.